Hello everyone and welcome to another video with me, Umber Rays, and today we're going to be talking about News Day. And for a first time ever, I'm just going to be recording both the JP news and the global news in one video, mainly because at this point it seems like JP is kind of changing a little things up this week, probably because of the whole thing with November 1st. So like whenever a month changeover happens here in WOTV on the JP side, like they don't like to start the next event until like just the beginning of the first month. So it seems like we're not going to be getting anything this week, and basically we're going to be holding out until Friday. This also kind of means that a weekly schedule of content starting on November 1st will lead basically into the 1-year anniversary. So that also kind of fits the narrative we seem to be getting at. And November 8th is supposed to be as well a live stream, so kind of seems to all just be pointing in that direction. But anyway, regardless, let's talk about what is going on the JP side. I do want to talk a little bit about the content on the JP side because it has been super underwhelming, and it's kind of weird too a little bit. There's a couple of reasons, but I'm going to go into that in another video. So what is going on the JP side this week? Well, the JP side is going to be getting a couple of banners. First of all, a banner that is an unlimited 10 multi-pull that gives a special kind of coin. This is not the monthly coins, this is the Halloween coins. I would not expect there to be any extra value here. This is probably just we gave it a skin. We gave the currency a skin, which is, fine. It's just going to be a different shop, basically. The other thing to note is that all of the Halloween stuff will still be available on Japan for this last week until October 31st, and then it's gone out and won't see it till next year. There's also going to be a single 10 multi-pull that is guaranteed 3 URs. They could be 3 cards, they could be 3 characters, they could be anything in between for 2,000 paid lapis. However, the one thing to note is the fact that this will be a 3 reroll. So in other words, you have 3 chances to re-roll your pull in case you do not like it. I like these banners a lot more than basically everything else that's come out. It should be noted that all of the Halloween stuff is available on this banner too. I wouldn't necessarily expect it to be upright, but the fact that it's going to just kind of have this all these the Halloween limited characters and limited card on it is probably good for anybody who's still looking for it, or if you're a collector. Personally, I wouldn't mind getting Larudo because I'm interested in getting a good fire type, but it's also hard for me to recommend because I think it's just probably better to wait for the anniversary to start. So there's that. And that's basically it for the JP side news. There really isn't nothing else to talk about. The fact is that for the rest of the week, the Poor Wave Battle and the Poor Macherie system will be continuing until the end of October 31st, and then I guess we'll have to wait till November 1st to see what is going on next. But for now, no content. Fingers crossed that they actually are saving all the new content for Anniversary, because if there's no new content in Anniversary, I'm quitting WOTV. That's not an idle threat. I'm just tired of there being nothing. Now we can switch over to global side, and the global side tonight has more news, thankfully, so we'll be able to talk about this. First of all, the Porcelain Tower is back, but now a brand new version of it. So this is basically Porcelain Tower number 2, and it has floors 1 through 30. You'll actually see a return of this Porcelain Tower, this exact Porcelain Tower, about a few months later, and in that when it comes back a few months later, we'll have 10 new floors, basically 31 through 40. Those floors will be roughly about the same difficulty, not too much more difficult, but not too much easier either. Probably a little bit more difficult, but nothing really that bad. So what you're looking here is floors 1 through 30 for this time. There will be 3 EXs. The first 2 pretty unremarkable. If you have a well-developed team, you should be fine there. But taking a look at floor number 30's EX, you'll be fighting against the Blood Moon. And the important thing to note about the Blood Moon fight is that everything in that fight casts Doom. So if you have characters that are Doom resistant, immune to Doom, basically with Saint's March, the support passive ability, you'll be pretty good against that fight. It's not the most, again, it's not the most difficult fight, so it's very obtainable. The big thing to do with this porcelain tower should be the reward, which should be the water ring. Now, there's a couple of things that I do have to note about this porcelain tower. So on the JP side, the big reward for this was the tide ring. And yeah, there it is. It's mentioned right there, just confirming it. But the tide ring is a big accessory for all water users. It makes Ildira much stronger. It is both a 80 attack magic and 80 magic ring, so it's good for both offensive, physical, and magical users. It's just a really strong accessory for every water character, and you should definitely aim to get it. You can also pick up the Crimson Saber again, so this is really important. When the tower returns for floors 31 through 40, it will have a brand new piece of equipment that you will be able to obtain, but both the Crimson Saber as well as the Tide Ring will be obtainable as well when the tower returns for floors 31 through 40. So just a heads up on basically all of that. But what I do think is important to note about the tower coming to Global is that the tower could be changed. Originally, this tower on floor 30 is very heavy, and also floor 28 while we're talking about it. Floor 28 and floor 30 are super heavily dependent on thunder magic. However, it should be noted that Global, while it has got Salir / Saria / all her different names, it should be noted that JP had a additional thunder-based mage called Scar or Skull, depending on which you were kind of looking at the time. But he is a really he was a UR-based thunder mage. He was kind of designed for that high tier of the tower. And here, Global just doesn't have him, at least to my knowledge. You guys haven't got him yet, kind of extended because of the Halloween stuff. So I'm kind of interested to see whether or not the top floors of the tower is different in terms of its elemental weaknesses or resistances. Not necessarily that the enemies are changed, but it could be a little bit different. So while my old tower videos might give you a little bit of an idea about what you will be coming up against, what you will be fighting, it is not necessarily going to be 100% accurate because they could just change things. So heads up about that. New story chapter, new books, new weekly campaigns, and last but not least, the important thing to talk about is the brand new vision cards, and more importantly, a power creep on vision cards. Last week on Global, there was the power creep of the characters. Both Halloween Leela and Halloween Raryu coming to the Global version early was a pretty big power creep. And then the fact that apparently Raryu's TMR just works on everybody. Wow, that's a buff and a half. But either way, I think that this, looking at again, you're going to be looking at another considerably strong banner. So starting at the bottom, Blood Moon, good additional, mage summon, just good for powering up magic users. Dark damage, chance of inflicting doom, area attack res up, and accuracy up with agility down. I don't think that the card or the summon is quite amazing. I do believe that Mind Flayer is still higher ranked in terms of a mage summon, but if you are looking for a mage summon, not bad at all. I think the card feels a little underwhelming, but we'll get to a reason why in a second. Continuing on, Mask of Deceit. Love the artwork on this card. This card is absolutely beautiful, not just because it's got two beautiful silver-haired ladies on it, but anyway. Vision card has missile resistance up and bestowed effects of Man-Eater up. Also, limited bestowed effect as well. Glassy Wazette or Victoria only will get Pierce attack up, and in terms of limited bestowed effects for Mont, wind resistance up and hate up. I think that using this card on Mont probably pretty underwhelming at this point, provided that you have any other tank in the game. Probably going to be wanting to run those. Not that Mont is bad, just seems kind of meh here. Continuing on, In terms of Glassy or Victoria, that's much more interesting. This card cannot currently, in case Global they decide to change things again, should be noted that this cannot be used on Kane, who is already strong enough. But if you are a big Glassy fan, I think this card is great for her. You're probably going to want to get your hands on it and use it frequently. However, it is the Exorcist that is the real power creep. This card just came out last week on the JP side, and it made quite a bit of waves over there. And basically, I'm going to talk about in terms of where this card currently stands and where it will stand in the future, because I think these are two important points. So party effect, slash resist piercing rate up. In other words, it can bypass unit slash resistance. You know, if you've developed Whisper to be, or any character to be incredibly high slash resistance, this card can get by it. I think by about 35%, but don't quote me on that. I don't have mine maxed. Either way, very powerful. Limited bestowed effect, activation required, a great sword equipable main job, defense piercing rate up. So in other words, any great sword user is going to be able to pierce defense easier, and also for Oldoa only, Man Eater up. So this card is basically an or just kind of a direct buff to Oldoa. So for any Oldoa fans out there, you don't get the costume, unfortunately, but you do get quite a bit more power. So if Oldoa is a character you really like, this card is, I'm going to just say 100% necessary. You might as well just go for it. If she's your favorite, this card is total support for her. But in terms of other characters, the only other character on Global that's really going to super benefit from this is Bling Stern, Gold Stern, Emo Stern, whatever you want to call him. He is the other character that greatly benefits from this card. Obviously, he has some AoE attacks, he has some strong, powerful damage, and slash resistance is a problem for him. Not so much anymore. So that is the two places where I think this card is super valuable. But the other thing to remember is that there can be more greatsword users in the future. I think there are already some story characters that are hinted to being greatsword users on the JP side. And not only that, we also have the potential for future characters such as Cloud, who could come to the game and really use this card. Now, that's not to say there couldn't be a stronger card later. I just think that for right now, this card is potentially a really good investment. So look at your resources, look how tapped out you are, look what characters you like, where you want to be in the future, and remember, if your account is kind of skewed towards magic users, such as Halloween Leela, for instance, this card really doesn't do that much, or anything. So probably a pretty easy pass. But if you're interested in certain greatsword users in the future, then it might just be worth getting this card. Anyway, that's basically everything. I think I'll have some more news later this week. I'm probably going to want to do my favorite character videos pretty shortly and get back to the good stuff of WOTV before the anniversary. So there are some videos, but a little busy lately, so no promises when those videos will actually get up. Anyway, tell me, are you interested in any of these Vision cards? Are you super excited for the new Porcelain Tower for Global? Let me know. Either way, Halloween Leela is adorable, and she's waving at you guys. Anyway, thanks for watching. Take care. See you next time.